There's a question on Answer Garden. How do you assess the teachers' performances or the teachers? Do you know that?
Yeah, the students do that.
Okay.
It's a running thing. Every other year, I think it's not all at the same time, because that will be too much for the students. So every other year there is math. It's a running thing. It's a loop that it's done, and we as teachers get it to see it, and the overhead also get it. But I don't know if it's on the internet or the students get it. But Magga, she's in that group.
You get the answer, but our group will take the conclusion and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
You cannot see how Inga is doing in math, actually, but you can see how the school is doing.
Yeah.
Are all the teachers willing to set up a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Because we have a problem with lots of teachers saying that we don't want our videos or recordings to be public to people, to students or somebody elsewhere.
You don't have to be public. You can have it that the only ones who can see it is the one that have the link. But
Yeah.
also the students can distribute the link.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
But
But we even give that.
Yeah.
I
At
read a
first
lot.
this was a problem for me,
Yeah.
and then I thought, oh, what the hell.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, we do as well.
Do you have a public YouTube channel in your school? Is your channel public?
I have a personally, yeah, but it's not public. But we have a school that is public. But usually there are no educational videos on that. That's more like videos from students and some promotional videos.
I also have a YouTube channel. I use that in MS because here at Keili we have this system that has our videos, like a server or something. That
Yeah, we
send them
gave
to
up
that
on
video.
that.
Yeah. So I don't understand that really much, but I use YouTube in MS because that was easy for me to use.
Yeah,
And your public or unlisted?
It's unlisted.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I know that my videos, because I teach Icelandic sagas, and they're read in all these high school, upper secondary schools in Iceland. I know that my videos have gone.
Yeah. I also know that might happen.
Yeah.
But isn't it
Some-
great though?
Yeah, I love it.
There are students in other schools that are so interested in what you're teaching that they're actually, oh, I know this great teacher in this school, we should listen to, because it's the same curriculum.
For
Doesn't
me,
matter where you
yeah.
are. Just pick up the book. I mean, isn't it backwards thinking that, there's one book, and this is the true book, and we should all read that book, because that has the best answers. Instead of saying, go and pick the book that suits you. I mean, if you find something in English or something that's explained in a way that you understand better, take that book instead of taking the books that are assigned to you by the teachers. The same with the lessons. I think in a few years' time, and when I say few, it might be 10 or 20, we'll think back and think about, this is like TripAdvisor, or you have a rating system on teachers, and you go, oh, this video here is great because it explains really well what Pythagoras or something like that. So
There are really great videos out there, and also in English, because I taught a class of foreign workers from Dalvik, who lived in Dalvik, and they were from all over the world. And I thought maybe I should give them the opportunity to look at it in English. So I found some on video on YouTube. It was really great, with great graphic. Mine are not so good. But I went to some kind of seminar here with two Americans. Do you remember their names?
John and Aaron.
Yeah. They said it doesn't matter if the graphic isn't good, just that it comes from yourself. That's what they said. And I thought, okay. The problem for me is I don't write so good English. Icelandic. I'm not a very good speller. And you can see that sometimes in the video, but my students know that. And they kind of like me for it.
It's more problematic because I teach Icelandic, and it's not that many videos in Icelandic public on the internet
No.
for me to use. So I can of course use all kinds of videos in English, but it doesn't go with my material really.
But this is also something that you experienced, that when you were starting, you were too, you were always considering that, oh, I said something wrong, and we'll start over again.
Mm-hmm.
And in a while, you stop doing that. They say, you don't do that in normal classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Why should you do it when you tape stuff? It makes it more alive. It makes it more human when you when the kids walk in on you and like the interview with the.
Yeah.
I can tell you a story. I started flipping about 2000 and, well, yeah, probably. My first videos, which are from example from the math book I'm teaching, are probably from 2000 and, when did I get married? I don't remember. Because I got married and I live in a very small town, and every person in the town had to kiss me for luck. And I got really sick. And last probably February, last February, I got an email or a Facebook message. I have this good recipe for a tea because you're so sick. Sick? I'm not sick. She was watching the videos, and I was really sick on the videos. So you can also reuse your videos.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a question here on how much time does it take to prepare? And
At the beginning, very much.
Yeah, but
But
then
later on,
it gets better.
yeah. And if you're not like me, that you always have to do something again, maybe in 3 years you don't have to do any preparing.
What is your what is your experience in preparation for?
All the time I have, but it's getting better.
Yeah. In the beginning, when I was starting teaching, I spent every waking and sleeping hour and making videos. I was teaching during the day, and then I was awake until 5 o'clock in the morning, recording Njála, doing something with Gunnar og Líðaranda. It wasn't great, but it was great the next time I was teaching Njála, because I just pressed play and I had time to make better assignments and do something different and have a little bit of a life myself.
It's good to start with one course, not all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually quite an interesting question as well. I mean, the role of the administration, because some schools, like your school in Hjordis and Keili, took an administrative decision, and I was top down. We should flip. But most schools start on individual basis. That teachers start, and not even a whole course. I mean, you can do parts. So it's, I mean, and you have everything between. And I think one of the questions there is concerning, what is the role of school administrators? Are there school administrators in here? Oh, okay, that shows how interested they are.
But can I ask, do you collaborate with some other
Yes.
teachers? So, like, do you have to do all your videos yourself, or do you have a group of Icelandic teachers that maybe
we do it ourselves.
you can take this part and I can take this part? And
I do that. I collaborate with my colleagues. In the beginning, I thought I had to do everything myself, and then I found there are videos in Icelandic on the internet that I could use.
easily use. Yeah.
And here in Keili, we are two together who, we worked really closely together from the beginning. But in MS, my colleagues there in the Icelandic department, they have started to flip more and more. So we, if we're all of us are teaching Havamal or something, we're not doing separate videos. We divide it between us.
So as it gets more common to use this method, it becomes easier for other teachers
Yes.
to start, right?
Well, maybe that's the role of Námsgagnastofnun in the future, to assemble.
Collect.
Yeah, collect.
But as upper secondary schools, Námsgagnastofnun doesn't do anything for us. So really, upper secondary teachers have to make their own material now, especially now in this new system. If they are not going to follow the old courses, they have to make their own. And we as teachers use the internet for that. But this is probably most problematic for Icelandic teachers. I would love to be an English teacher. You can just buy your way for $50 a year for teachers pay teachers.
Khan Academy has also
Yeah.
One more question regarding this. Would you ask for permission to use a video, or do you just use it? If you have the link or you found it, you just use it?
I ask a permission. Well, if it's something like open on YouTube in English, I don't ask
No.
permission. Then it's like it's published in my
If you're
opinion.
not selling
But-
it, if it's not commercial,
But if it's unlisted, I would ask the teacher if I could use it. But I've only used videos from teachers I know, because we've been working together with like 8 Icelandic teachers in MS, and we are working together with the videos. Those of us who are really interested in making videos. It's not everybody. So yeah.
can I ask how long you have been doing this in Tröllaskagi?
We started 2010, so 2010 to 11 we didn't. And 11 and 12 we began. I'm not so sure about the years.
And have you received feedback from students that have completed
Yeah.
Tröllaskagi and have moved on to university?
Yeah.
And have they told
Yeah.
how prepared they are?
Yeah, that's not maybe because of the flip teaching, but something maybe. But we have, because we have this rule that you get assignments per week. So they have to do everything in this week. So they have to work and work and work. It's not like when I was in high school that you can just start reading in 29th of April and pass everything. Yeah, you know that? They can't do that. So they work the whole time.
So I have a question. So I teach visual effects and animation, and I've done since 2007. So I don't know the traditional, well, I've studied the traditional way, but I've only known this flipped way, so that's 2007, so 10 years. My curriculum is ever changing, and I'm always picking up new programs. I have 4 new programs I have to study, and so creating videos for that would be quite time consuming. So I'm just wondering, where do you create your videos, and like which programs do you use, or do you just use your screen recorder?
I mainly use screen recorder called Camtasia, and I just do it at home in my bedroom because it has the best sound quality. Or I did it before I had a baby. Now I have to go somewhere else because he's screaming. Yeah, so I made a lot of videos in the beginning, and then I've just made a few more once I go along, because I teach the same things over and over again. So it's not the same reality as for you.
I asked the school to buy account for every single student at Digital Tutors, which is now Pluralsight, I think, which made my life a lot easier. And I'm sure that it's like Linda and so many other things for technical stuff. So the only videos I had to make is basically how to organize folders in the school and stuff. So it's changed from that. So instead of me teaching people how to click buttons, it's more like I can teach the theory. So that's the main change of having all the students have lots of videos, which is kind of nice.
But did you encounter any problems of getting the counts for the students?
It was a lot of problem, yeah. Because basically the first question was, what are you going to do?
What they're doing,
Yeah.
some classrooms I know about, what they do is that they use MOOCs. They say you go to a free MOOC, and then there are videos within the MOOC that we want you to see, and then they'll create their own videos in between, because the MOOCs are free and they don't have to pay for it. So that's one place to go to.
I think the main problem was definitely the people above you that they don't see how you are going to be doing your job if you're not standing there and talking the whole time.
Yeah.
Especially with a creative group like what I'm teaching is mainly walking around and doing fun stuff.
Yeah, but isn't it better when you don't have to make videos or don't have to spend
Definitely,
time on
but
that?
yeah, but the problem is the people above you don't see that.
No, you have to invite them to come to
Yeah.
class to see what you're doing.
I was also thinking about that, but Hjalmar was speaking about who is the most active in the classroom. Sometimes we have visitors, and they are praying around the school, and I sit down and I'm not doing anything. I find it very hard, because then I stand up and try to help students, because I'm just sitting there doing nothing. So it's kind of, because I taught before that in primary schools, or it's called primary schools. And then I had to, that was not flipped classroom, so I had to be running around all the day. But now it's different.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like I'm really lazy.
Yeah.
Especially here in Keila, where the students are really self-styled, independent, and they can start their work and they do it on their own, and sometimes they don't want any help at all. And I've done a lot of work before because I made the videos and I made the assignments and I do the grading and all that. But in the class, I'm like, can I help you? No, it's okay. So
Yeah, I was thinking about
doing
the slide you put up with MS and Keilir.
Yeah.
My students are more like the Keilis ones,
Mm.
although they're the same age as MS ones. That's because we teach them from the beginning what is expected of them, and they learn that. And also because it's a small society, they know that when they come.
I think it's also important that you talked about, you have these meetings where you share what you're doing.
Mhm.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Because I have heard about teachers in MS who are doing amazing stuff, and there are some groups that are working together on something. But we don't have these meetings where everybody come to see what the other teachers are doing. So we just need this discussion on what's happening, because there are a lot of things, a lot of creative things happening in that school. But I don't know about them because we don't have those meetings like you do in Tröllaskagi.
And there are many Facebook forums or groups you can click like on, that then you get some news about what is happening in the future. In the future, we don't need a Danish teacher. You just put something in your ear and you understand everything in Danish.
Also math.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? I just saw a video where you put on some helmet and you get all the readings in some machinery room which says, okay, this machine is there's something wrong with it, go and put it on number 10. It's like you know this board when something is stuck in the copy machine and it says what to do. Now they put that in glasses so you can control a whole room of machinery. So that's the future. I hope we have still learn Danish.
Yeah, and Njála.
Yeah,
Keep
okay.
learning Njála. There's a question on how much ICT knowledge you need. Not that much.
No.
You can just use your phone. You can, if you want to flip your classroom, just put your phone here and do it the traditional way. Just a
I've done that.
short class. But I would recommend that you would keep the videos short and on one topic in each video. It's probably not like the most creative video and the most fun to watch, but it
But I found
serves
out
its
later
purpose.
that that was the most watched video. You probably because all of the distance learners could see me, hadn't
Yeah.
seen me before.
One thing I've realized since I started teaching is that we are not really needed. You can learn anything on the internet.
Mhm.
The only thing that students learn is how to learn and networking, especially for my kind of classes. Definitely, you get to know your best friends and the people that go abroad, like working in big companies in VFX, and that's the reason why you pay a lot of money and spend 2-3 years doing it. It's only because my students are 20 plus, so that's the only reason why they come to that class to get that.
It's very interesting, and it actually brings it to another question. How do you see the school in 20 years? I mean, now pop-up restaurants are really popular. because people realize that restaurants don't have to rely on the same physical room and the same chef and the same kitchen every time. You can have pop-up restaurants anywhere. And is that maybe where we're heading, that schools can be pop-up schools, wherever you have more than one person coming together and studying, learning something. There you have an educational environment.
But don't we have that on the internet already?
Yeah, but
The
then
pop-up
how do you
school on the
define the school? Is it
I mean, my school, we're always inviting people from the industry, and that's kind of popular. So basically now we have 3 people coming from the UK, and we're gonna do a short movie with CCP as well. And that's just basically, we invite few people, we end up in London, we're gonna record something for 4 days, and then everyone goes, and it's done. There's
so the
nothing more,
physical
it's just-
walls are not important anymore. You can have a school in a cafe, or
Yeah.
you know.
I just saw some, I think it was some students who was doing some work for their, some kind of specific something, I don't know. But it was a question about, would you like to live in Hrísey and study, distant study in Hrísey if you can get a good internet and a cheap housing? So maybe that's because we have a problem with housing. It costs too much, especially if you're learning. So maybe Hrísey, I don't know if it was from Hrísey or Akureyri or something, but this was a questionnaire that was put forward and asking, would you be interested in living in Hrísey if you, and also if you had something where you could meet, some kind of room.
So you need the human interaction.
Yeah. So you're not all alone at home, because sometimes, like she was talking about self-regulating, sometimes that's difficult.
Creativity comes in a group,
Yeah.
so you need that.
And also, I think, just say we let this be some kind of environment. It doesn't have to be that everybody is learning the same, but they can still assist each other. You know what I mean?
Do we have a final question or two for the presenters?
I'm just curious how you make, when you do these videos, do you record yourself using, you were in your bedroom, do you talk to the video camera?
No, I use mainly screen recording.
Yeah.
So I have some pictures and
Yeah.
maybe just PowerPoint slides.
Can you show some?
Yeah. But then I have, because some of the students thought I was an old lady or something, I added pictures of myself.
So you're not an old lady? I know Hjordis Inga.
I have a channel, but it's unlisted, so nobody can see. A lot of views, and they always increase in May and December when there are final exams in schools. So I try to add maybe music. I am explaining an Icelandic poem and I use the
Nú, í
music.
seinni hlutanum, þessum tveimur erindum sem eru þau.
I use the music to relate to the students because I hope they have heard the song, even though they might not know it's a poem by Jónas Hallgrímsson. But then I have started making videos with my colleague here in Keilir where we are like presenters. This is also about Jónas Hallgrímsson.
Hér í hljómskálagarðinum stytta af Jónasi Hallgrímssyni eftir Einar Jónsson myndhöggvara. Stytta var afhjúpnuð árið 1907, þá stóð reyndar hérna á horni Lækjargötu og Amtmannsstígs, en var færð hingað í hljómskálagarðinn stuttu eftir seinna stríð. Kíkjum á hana.
of these videos because I've met you before.
Mhm.
It's kind of history, geography, and Icelandic sagas all together. I think I like especially when you were in Copenhagen. I think.
Yeah. Went to Copenhagen to make
Yeah,
a video.
especially for this.
Yeah. Now this is at least video flip level 2. Like it a lot, but it doesn't. It takes a lot of time to make these kind of videos, so that's not something you do every day.
But this is iPhone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all
And
my
microphone. Yeah. So back to the equipment you need, the ICT. I mean, you can't do it with an iPhone and a good microphone. I think the microphone is quite important.
Yeah, because of the sound quality.
Yeah.
You want your students to
But
hear what
phones
you're
are just
saying.
so good, and you can do the editing as well. So it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Just don't be self-critical too much when you do it.
It's perfectionism. That's your biggest enemy if you want to make videos.
Just keep that fart.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's,
Yeah. Everybody will laugh.
So
Have
did you
fun.
use Camtasia to cut the video? or-
Yeah. It's Camtasia Studio. It's a really good program. But there are some others that don't cost as much. There's one called Screencast-O-Matic. Very interesting.
But do you need to connect an extra microphone to your phone, or?
Yeah, there's 2 phones. And we use the mic from one of them and the video from another.
we can actually show you, we've been at Kaelin for the past few weeks and months. We've been building a studio for our teachers because we found out that the sound is really important. And we have a couple of studios, both the first studio we built and the new one. And we can also show you the technology we're using, like the microphone and so on. It doesn't have to be complicated, as you see when you
Yeah.
take a look.
If you watch mine are not so very graphic or complicated. I'm just writing.
Jæja, nú ætlum ég að reyna að sýna ykkur hvernig við reiknum setjastig. Við notum þessa formúlu. Setjastig er saman sem x mínus. Ég ætla að reikna þetta með staðarfráki 6,56. 10% í kurvinu og hérna fyrir neðan 100,6 sem ger
I use education, and there are plenty of these kind of. I use a tablet, iPad, but you can use any tablet, even your phone, if you can write really small. But this is just simple.
I can tell you that in Harvard, they have a rule that videos cannot be longer than 13 minutes.
13.
13 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I usually try not to have them longer than 5.
Yeah.
3 minutes, it's
Yeah.
stretching it.
Very good.
Yeah, that's very good, but they say there's no way that they can be longer.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we have a break, and we need to use the break because otherwise the food doesn't get eaten. I would like to thank Inga and Hjordis very much for their